Hello and welcome to the development show. First one of the year, and we have run into issues already, so I apologise. Joesph won't be making it with us tonight, so we're going to try and go over some of the things we were going to talk about anyway. So you just have to bear with me, and you've got me for a while on my own, which will be good fun. So yeah, any questions you've got, please just drop them in the comments. We're live streaming across LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. I always forget YouTube. On YouTube, you'll find the recordings of all the previous shows as well. So go and check them out and like and subscribe, as they say on YouTube. It would be absolutely fantastic. So what we were going to talk really about with Joesph tonight is where we can find a driver for, in his words, relentless reaching of potential. And where does that drive really come from? We're going to look at ways that we can develop ourselves that doesn't cost the earth, a little bit of creative thinking, and then we'll try and touch on the development of teams of people and how to create and how to build them. So let's shoot straight back to the beginning, and the relentless of reaching potential. Wow, where does that come from? You'll see that I speak a little bit about motivation and inspiration and things like that, and really, as Simon Sinek would say, that it comes down to your why. Why do you want to reach your potential? And this is the key area. The why needs to be so strong. It needs to drive you. It needs to be the greatest reason. It needs to be a bigger reason than doing anything else. Some people have it, some people don't. Some people are born with it. It's natural to them. Other people, they have to go and find that motivation, and they have to find that desire and that relentless pursuit of potential. Now, potential is a really interesting word as well. I was asked recently, what do I mean when I say potential? Now, when we look at what potential is, it's what we are capable of. Now, none of us really truly know what we are capable of. You look back through the history books and look where we are now. Would anyone have even thought that we might go to the moon? Controversial issue. Mars, space travel and orbit the Earth on a commercial flight. Would anyone have imagined this? And I'm talking about potential here in the human race. But don't forget that lots of people have worked together. So this ties really nicely into development of teams and collaboration work, which we can get into. That at some point, there's a group of people that have come together and said, we want to do this. How are we going to do it? And really, this is where we look at potential and that relentless pursuit. So really, you have to have a look at how far you can drive yourself forwards, but there has to be an underlying reason for that. For me, it is that I have a life, and this life is a wonderful gift. I talk often about waking up each day with gratitude and wanting to seize each day and seizing those opportunities, because I believe that what we're given is a true gift. And it's our duty and it's our right to pursue that as far as we possibly can and impact people in a very positive way. Because not everyone has this drive. Not everyone has this relentless pursuit of potential. There's so many people settle, and this is the problem. So when we look at our why, when we look at the reasons and the factors behind we want to do something, they have to be stronger. They have to be stronger. I shared a post a few days ago and actually it was in this week's newsletter as well. So if you haven't signed up for the free newsletter, please let me know, and I'll drop that off to you. And it was really three questions that I want you to ask yourselves, and I suggested on a Sunday night because it was Blue Monday, but they can be asked at any time of the day when you're lacking motivation and you want to try and maximize everything. So the three questions were: what am I doing wrong? Wow, what a big question. That is such a huge question. And when we look at that question itself, it's not asking you to fix something. It's not asking you to correct it. It is literally it's what are you doing wrong? So in fact, my newsletter is three slightly different questions, but we can have a look at this. We can go, well, we can expand on it. And as we do the growth and I'm a development coach, and we always develop and we always move on. So, so if you sit there at night and you want to ask yourself the question, what am I doing wrong? It could be something small. It could be something, I'm always late for work. I'm always rushing in the mornings. I'm always, I wish I could do this. And then you start to have a look back and going, well, why am I doing it wrong? Why do I keep repeating this pattern? And we have a look at quite a few things. So when you're looking for motivation, you can look at what you're doing wrong and why you want to change it. So with a lot of things, we can just flip them. We can just turn them slightly and change them into slightly different questions. So the question that I want to ask is why do you get up each day? Why are you doing this? And of course, there are many different reasons that we get up and we get motivated in the morning, we get dressed. It may be that you need to go to work. Why do you need to go to work? Because you need the money. You've got bills to pay. You want to go on holiday. You want that new car. Whatever it is, there's that factor. It might be that you want the money because you've got your family to look after, or you might have a higher purpose in life. You might be changing people's lives dramatically. Whatever it is, it really comes down to the fact that you do these things because there are other people relying on you. And that is a very, very driving factor for a lot of things. And then we go back to the relentless pursuit of potential. When you are being relied on by other people to get things done, to get that money and to go to work, to whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you bring in that factor of, well, why am I not doing it? What am I doing wrong to reach this? We can kind of look on and go, well, what am I doing wrong? Why am I doing wrong with it? And there'll be some fear in there. There'll be some dread in there. There'll be some anxiety. There'll be some even procrastination is anxiety. It's the mildest form of stress relief that the body knows is to procrastinate from doing a task. It may not be the next task that you've got to do, but there'll be something in your day where you will not look forward to it. You will not be dreading it. And so the body procrastinates to put that particular task off, to relieve that anxiety, to relieve that fear. So when you have a look at your why, and it's people are relying on me, and that is the bottom line, really. Very few of us don't have interactions, and they don't have collaborations, and they don't have other people relying on us to do our job, for example. So if you work in a team and you're not there, you'll leave a big hole in your team, and other people have to pick up the slack. So your team members are relying on you to be at work. It's a whole new structure. It's a whole new avenue to kind of explore. So when you have a go, well, what am I doing wrong today? Why do I keep repeating this? And that is where your fear will be. That is where um, your dread. I'm trying to think of a better word, whether there is a better word. But in this instance, most of these fears, most of the reasons that you're doing wrong are one of two things. I would say one thing, but let's have a look at another thing that might make more sense. That when we do things wrong, so we say we get up late for work, and we continually get up late for work. Oh, I don't want to go to work today. It's Monday morning again. It's Tuesday morning. I've got that meeting. I've got this. So you have a look at why you're doing it, because people are relying. So identify that fear. What you will find, and you know me by now that I like to try and keep things very, very simple. So what you'll find is it'll break down into environmental. There will be something in your environment that is driving that fear, that is driving that dread. Now, it could be your work environment, it could be colleagues, maybe it's toxic friends, toxic family, it may be past histories, whatever that is, it's your environment. And then when we talk about environment, we're not just talking about physical environment, we're talking about mental environment, we're talking about the environment you create around yourself, the environment in your car, the environment on public transport that you travel on. There's something in there that is environmentally impacting you that is creating these fears. So the third question that we get to, and then this is the important part, and this is where most people stumble and most people fail, is what are you going to do about it? Just let that sink in. So what are you going to do about it? I'd love to know if you're listening in, you want to drop in a comment. Have a think about what is it you dread the most? I'd love to hear this. What is the thing you dread the most? It can be as small as you like, it can be as big as you like. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's have a bit of a coaching moment. And we all know I like coaching moments. So if you do have something you're dreading, something you fear, it may be the coffee machine breaking. It may be your car won't start. It may be a meeting. It may be this. It may be that. I don't want anyone to drop themselves into any trouble with this. Maybe it's listening to me on a live stream. Who knows? But there is always there a fear of dropping a comment in. Oh, that would be an interesting one. So the third question that we look at is, what are you going to do about your fears? Now, no one is asking anyone, or even you, no one is asking you to change something overnight, to change it in a day or even a week. It might take months and it might take years. But what is important is that we know what we're going to do. And then we aim a little that direction, and we aim to move a little bit close to that direction each day. And when you feel like you're faltering a little bit, and we'll again, I might do a stream on direction. But when you feel like you're faltering, sit down and go, right, I feel like I've gone slightly off track. So let me just remind myself, why am I getting up each day? Who's relying on me? Why do I have to do this? What is it you're dreading the most? What is the fears that are driving it the most? Identify them, and then have a look at what are you going to do about them. And this is something that I've used time and time again, and it does work. And it's one of those three simple questions that I go through with when I'm coaching and we're looking at development, and it really gets down. It kind of gets down into the kind of NLP techniques almost, where we're looking at just simplifying everything the whole time. So when you're looking at driving that potential, driving that passion to get to your potential, have a think. And don't limit yourself. People talk about glass ceilings. Glass ceilings are limited. You can see beyond them, but they're still limiting. So remove that. Go and stand outside, have a look up and go, I can see clouds. But even though they're there, I can still go past them. And this is where our potential could possibly go. Think of yourself in those terms. And then start to identify your reasons why, the fears holding you back, and what you're going to do to get over those fears. And when you start to think about this the whole time, and it's a great technique to use because you can apply it to literally everything. I would love to get one comment, just so we can work through it. We've got a couple of viewers on Facebook and a couple on YouTube as well. So I'm sure you can comment via Facebook. So there are moving into the next bit. There are many ways that you can develop yourself that don't cost a fortune. They don't cost, other than time, they really don't cost anything. And again, it's something that I talk about. It's that awareness. So the 3 questions we've just gone over to drive that relentless pursuit of potential. It comes down to self-awareness. Even those 3 questions are raising self-awareness in you and motivating you. So this is a great way to drive self-development. And yes, we can take courses. Yes, we can do all the qualifications under the sun, but if they're not focused, they're not structured, they're not going to be that helpful. And again, you'll end up spending money that you might not need to spend. So if you use those questions and go, okay, let's have a look. So my qualifications that I have aren't good enough. What's going to stop me? Something is stopping me from applying for that job. Oh, I'm not qualified enough. Then what am I going to do about it? I'm going to have a look at the qualifications that I need. I'm going to have a look at how much they cost. I'm going to have a look at if that qualification is valuable. Is it just industry relevant? Is it going to be a transferable skill? Am I going to get value for money, or ROI, rate of return, and on the investment from that qualification? And that's what you can look at. And if the answer is no, you're not going to get the ROI on it. You're not going to get the transferable skill. Ask yourself again, is this worth the money? And of course, that knowledge isn't just in courses. Knowledge isn't just paying someone to teach you. Knowledge comes from books. Knowledge comes from YouTube. Knowledge comes from LinkedIn posts. Knowledge comes from everywhere we are around us. But again, it comes back to that self-awareness. Now, if you're not self-aware enough to learn from your environment, to learn from the people around you, to learn from every interaction that you have, everything that you see, everything that you read, if you're not self-aware enough, then your self-development will suffer. Now, here I am, a development coach, and I'm telling you that you can develop yourself. Wow. That's quite powerful. It's quite impressive. And I know this because it is something that I did. So I didn't spend a vast amount of money. I was very focused. And again, this is something that we need to look at. We are very focused in our plan, focused in our use of time, and execute that plan to the best of our ability. And this kind of creates a good foundation. Now, we've all heard the saying, if you wish to lead a team, then you have to lead yourself first. And it is so true. If you are not on a path of self-development, if you are not on a path of self-discovery, if you are not on a path of self-awareness, you will never be aware of somebody else. Or if you are, you will never be able to help them. You will never be able to lead them. So this is why we always talk about, if you're going to lead a team, lead yourself first. And this really is so important. So when we look at development of teams of people, whether you're creating a brand new team, whether you've inherited a team, you need to have a look at the overall image of the team, the makeup, the creativity, the diversity. There's many factors. But let's go back to those 3 questions. Again, it's a why. Why am I building this team? What is its purpose? What is its common goal? What are my fears? Am I going to get the wrong people? Are they not going to be able to work together? Are we going to fall out? Are we not going to have a clear goal in mind? Is people not going to understand? And then the third question is, what are you going to do about it? So to make sure you've got the right people, the right teams, have a look at the characteristics of the people that you want. Have a look at their individual skills, their transferable skills, their identifiable skills, also their specific skills. Now, I'm slightly off the popular opinion, and certainly what I've seen, that you should be employing people with different skills, different individual skills, and then you build the team on those skills. So you don't ask a person who's bad at Excel to be doing spreadsheets all day. You ask the person who's good at Excel to be doing spreadsheets all day. Now, the person who wasn't good at Excel might be good at, let's push Microsoft and hope we get some sponsorship at some point. They might be good at Word. So let's get them to do the Word documents. And it really is. And then you start to look at development of teams of people. And when you have a look at that development, you can spot those gaps. You can spot the gaps in knowledge, and spot the gaps in qualifications if needed. It's experience, it's knowledge. Where are you going to get that knowledge from? Why do they need it? Who's best suited to it? Let's have a look at workload. Let's have a look at and just kind of finding out who's coming along with you. Because remember, you're leading yourself first, and then you're leading the team. Now, if people aren't coming with you on that journey, you have to have a look at why. What are their fears? And what are you going to do about it? These 3 questions are some of the best questions that we know, and they're so simple. So there is that, and then we can take that wider. And when we look at teams of people, we're not just talking about the people who sit in your office, the people who are in your company. We can push teams out even wider, and we can have a look at maybe collaborations were wider reaching than that. People that you work alongside, or you gain knowledge from, or you share knowledge, you share interests, because at the end of the day, everyone has got some value in there, and they've got the knowledge and expertise and industry knowledge that you might need one day, or actually someone in your network or someone else you collaborate might need those skills. And this is what's important, that when we collaborate in different areas of life, in work, on social media, networking events, even kind of socially, it's getting to know people, getting to know their skills, their strengths, have a look at their weaknesses, if you like, and see where you can help. And this is really, really interesting, because then what we start to do is to work out a network. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will come along on the journey with you, especially if we're talking about work. We're talking about people who want to turn up, do their 9 to 5, pick up their wage packet, and go home. And there are plenty of people, and you've got to remember that while you're on this journey of self-development, on this journey of trying to see how far you can go in life, that not everyone's going to come with you. And that's okay, because not everyone has that desire. Not everyone wants to do that. They're happy with life. And this is where we talk about you are who you're surrounded by. And do I subscribe to the 5 people rule? Maybe not. But you certainly have a look at who's in your inner circle. You also need to have a look at who you interact with, what you consume every day. Is this helpful? Is this helping you grow? Is it part of your self-development journey? This is what I call a constant upgrade of life all the time. We want to keep constantly upgrading the people. I'm not saying we need to upgrade our friends. They might be, long life school friends or whatever. But what I'm saying is we need to keep upgrading our consumption of what we want. I shared a post today, and it was a breakdown of my day, of how many hours. I didn't go into great detail, but I made sure that I get some hours just for me. Now, what is interesting is the headspace time. So I might put on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and I might watch something, and it's not aimed at self-development. It is entertainment. But the fact that I've factored in those times means that I'm giving myself the headspace. I'm allowing to recharge. I'm allowing to bring the energies back in, so that when I do step back into work, I do step back into the gym, I do step back into time with the family, that I have that energy, that I can focus and make the most of that time that I have. And that is self-development. Even downtime is self-development, as long as it is focused downtime and it's used wisely. So when we're looking at, I focus quite a bit on this relentless pursuit of potential. Have a think about where you want to go, where you can take things, and have a look at how you can develop. Have a look at self-awareness. Ask yourself some simple questions. A lot of these questions I give away on social media, in my newsletter, and they are good questions to ask. Of course, the answers aren't. You have to be careful, because sometimes the answers that you give are the answers that you want to believe are the problem. But sometimes everything runs just a little bit deeper than that. So we have to keep asking and solving, and life's a little bit of a puzzle, and we keep having to solve these different puzzles to get to where we want to be, really. But once you can get this down, and you can start to lead yourself, and you can start to develop yourself, when you start looking at teams, when you start looking at how to collaborate with people, how to develop teams, because you've already done it, you can then take them on with you, and then you can drive, and you can start to grow them, and very soon you'll know that with teams, that people will either come with you or they will be left behind. People have choices. And when you're leading and you're pushing and you're driving forwards into development and developing the team as a whole, people have 2 choices. They can either stop where they are and get left behind, or they can come with you. It's not a forced change. It's not a forced choice. That is just what it is. But you know that those people that come with you will achieve great things together. And they have to know that they will achieve great things together because you're all on the same journey. So we're just having a little short one tonight. So that's 30 minutes. I do apologize again for Joesph not being able to join us. Something cropped up very last minute. So if you do have any questions on this broadcast, then please do just DM me, drop a note in the comment, and I'll try and pick them up. And I will see you on Thursday when we have another guest, hopefully, fingers crossed. So thank you all for listening and joining, and I will speak to you all soon. Thank you.